Hello, everybody. Welcome back. The second Thursday of November is upon us, which means it is time for Jank Pack Thursday. Last week, we plumbed the depths of the internet to find a very interesting and, in my mind, overly complicated trading card game. And now we're going to shuffle, we're going to spin and see which of the 83 comes up, and our history thing for today. November the 14th, the year 1851, was when Moby Dick was first published in the United States, having been published in London a month earlier. And Herman Melville, unfortunately, one of those guys, was not appreciated at his time, couldn't really get off the ground with his career. 1865, went back to New York and became a customs inspector for 20 years, died in 1891 pretty much, unfortunately, in literary obscurity, but his work was rediscovered in the 1920s to kind of elevate him to the status we have now. And shockingly, as Star Trek, the 25th anniversary, which I'm really excited for because they've been in the box for a while, I've never read Moby Dick. It's on those classic book lists that I've just never read. So maybe one day we'll take care of that. But coming up, 25th anniversary Star Trek coming from the Etsy box. I'm looking forward to this. So see you over the table in a moment. And over to the table we are. We're searching for... Oh man, I got distracted in between the recording the intro and now I have it written down. The 25th anniversary of the Star Trek, and I know we have some other Star Trek stuff in here. This is not it. Oop, there we go. We lost focus for whatever reason. But that is not the Star Trek we are looking for. It is the 25th anniversary, and I don't remember what in the world that pack looks like. So, I can ramble a little bit. And yeah, like I said in the intro, there's a lot of those classic books, that are always on the lists of, 100 or so books to read before you die. And I've never read Moby Dick, never read The Hunchback of Notre Dame, never read much in the way of Hemingway. I don't know. Is that it? No, that's the card game. No. Oh, wait. Yes! Star Trek, 25th anniversary. Let's go. I knew we would find it eventually. Get the rest of the stuff in ye olde box. Back up there. And let us take a look. Star Trek 25th anniversary. 12 official full-size trading cards for Star Trek The Next Generation. I really liked The Next Generation. Figure 12 cards. We'll need 2 stands to deal with them. All right, what do we got? 1991 anniversary Series 1 Collector's Album and card shirts. Card shirts? I am the confused. All right, Paramount. Let us get in. And Next Gen, that was the one I think I remember watching the most, and I really fell in love with it. Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, for me, were the 2 big ones, and we're starting off right off the rip. Here's some TTM fuel. Jean-Luc Picard. In addition to playing Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise, everybody hears that meme in their head, by the way, in Star Trek Next Generation, Patrick Stewart is considered one of the most accomplished actors in Great Britain. And I have to say, when he teams up with Sir Ian McKellen, and it is Sir Patrick Stewart, Sir Ian McKellen, those two need a TV series. American filmgoers will remember him as Gurney Halleck in Dune, forgot about that, and Leodegrance in Excalibur. I haven't seen that, I don't think. Stewart most recently starred in the London production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Perhaps it's not surprising that he is also respected as one of Britain's foremost Shakespearean performers. Was born in Mirfield, the UK, whose population of 11,000 supported 12 drama clubs. Early on, Stewart had to make a career choice between journalism and acting. He claims, I was better at selling furniture than I was at journalism. Hey man, selling furniture is an art, let me tell you. That might be TTM fuel. I'm fairly sure he at least used to sign. This is going to, Gates McFadden, let's go. Let's go. As Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden plays a woman with dual roles. Pardon me. Chief Medical Officer of the Enterprise and mother to the precocious teenager Wesley Crusher. Before joining the cast of Star Trek, McFadden worked extensively on the New York stage as both an actress and a director. Did not know she directed. Her most recent acting credits include Cloud 9 and Emerald City. In Los Angeles, she was cast in the feature film Taking Care of Business, starring Charles Grodin and Jim Belushi. God, I haven't seen that in a long time. She was raised in Ohio and served on the faculties of several theater arts training programs, including the New York University Graduate School of Arts. McFadden earned a B.A. cum laude in theater arts from Brandeis University and studied with Jacques Lecoq, I think, in Paris for several years. I like Gates McFadden. What do we got? Times Squared. I am going to at some point use a Make It So thing. Excuse me. The Starship Enterprise discovers its own shuttlecraft, cartwheeling in space carrying an unconscious Captain Picard, a double from 6 hours in the future. The shuttlecraft's cameras show the starship was surrounded by a mysterious and dangerous energy whirlpool when the craft left it. The captain begins to fear that the starship and the crew are somehow trapped in a time loop. The whirlpool engulfs the ship, and the USS Enterprise shuts down to avoid exploding. Smart move. To stop the endless cycle, Picard decides he must prevent his double from leaving again. In the end, he orders his ship to charge into the whirlpool, and after a few chilling moments, the shuttlecraft, Picard's double, and whirlpool vanish. Space is scary, folks. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, once again. We love Patrick Stewart. Captain Jean-Luc Picard is brave, distinguished, wise, decisive, everything the Federation demands in a starship commander. He's also strikingly different from Captain Kirk, his predecessor. That is correct. This may be because Picard, a native of France, who, just like, Sean Connery, never got rid of the accent, despite playing someone from another ethnicity, retains an intriguing romantic quality. Before his present assignment, Picard was captain of the USS Stargazer during an extraordinary 22-year mission into deep space. He commands absolute obedience from his crew, but is wise enough to ask for their input. Pardon the interruption there, my camera wigged out for whatever reason. We have the Child. While the USS Enterprise is helping control a deadly plasma plague in the Richelieu system, it's been a while, Counselor Troy announces that she has been impregnated by a glowing white light while asleep. No, just no. The fetus reaches full term in 36 hours, and Troy gives birth to Ian, a boy. Accelerated development continues as the child grows from an infant to an 8-year-old in 24 hours. Meanwhile, a plague specimen on board begins to grow rapidly, threatening the crew. When it is learned that Ian is a radiation source, the radiation source spurring the plague's growth, the remarkable child sacrifices his own life despite Troy's denials. Returning to his original state as a glowing white life force, the entity comforts Troy and explains that he had come to her to learn about humans, then passes directly through the ship's hull and departs. There's a lot going on there, ladies and folks. We got Wes Crusher, Ensign. There we go. Wes Crusher is the brainiest teenager on the USS Enterprise and the only one on the bridge. He's the child of Chief Medical Officer Dr. Beverly Crusher. His father lost his life while serving under Captain Picard, and the captain has taken a special interest in Wes. The youth is almost certainly a genius. Mozart could hear music by reading a score. Wesley can see the engineering potential of the Starship Enterprise by remembering its designs with the help of his photographic memory. As a reward for his abilities, Picard field promoted him to full ensign. In his spare time, you'll find Wes in engineering, teaching the adults a trick or two. Oh, excuse me. Morning allergies. A Matter of Honor. Is that? Hang on a minute. I actually ran across one of the Klingons, which was... Oh, God, I'm going to blank on his name. It'll come to me in a moment. Bear with me. Under an historic exchange program, Riker has become the first Federation officer to serve aboard a Klingon vessel. When it is learned that a strain of bacteria is eating away at the hulls of both the Enterprise and the Klingon ship, Captain Picard plots a course to warn the Klingons. Despite Riker's protestations, the Klingons interpret the starship's action as an act of aggression and prepare to attack. Riker then activates an emergency transponder given to him by Worf. The Klingon commander seizes it and is beamed aboard the USS Enterprise. Suddenly in command, Riker defends Klingon honor and gains their respect by demanding Picard's surrender. Picard complies with Riker's face-saving theatrics, and in the end, the Federation ship helps remove the corrosive bacteria from the Klingon vessel. J.G. Hertzler. That's who I was thinking of. He played, who became Chancellor Marduk. I had to kind of work alongside him at a show I was at. Man, trying to control that man was like trying to control lightning in a bottle. Or, lightning in a bottle. You cannot do it. Shuttlecraft. Hello, Shuttlecraft. A shuttlecraft is a short-range spacecraft that is used when the transporter beam is not available or is somehow not appropriate. What's the transporter beam getting up to? It seats up to 10 passengers with limited space left over for cargo. Shuttlecraft are battery-powered, and before takeoff, it's imperative that their batteries be charged. They dock on the Enterprise in 3 bays, one at the top rear of the saucer, the other 2 at the upper rear of the dorsal. Ooh, interesting. Although there have been occasional mishaps, shuttlecraft continue to be essential to the starship's operations. I'm sorry, but Interstellar and several mishaps, in my mind, don't go together. Loud as a whisper. The USS Enterprise has transported famed mediator Riva to Soleus 5 to negotiate a bitter planetary conflict. Riva is deaf, and although he can read lips, must communicate through the chorus, a group of 3 people who receive his thoughts telepathically. On the war-torn planet, mediation begins, but a berserk soldier kills the chorus. Riva sinks into depression and returns to the starship. When Data learns Riva's sign language and offers himself as a translator, Counselor Troy convinces Riva to resume negotiations. Arriving on the planet's surface, Riva stuns everyone by dismissing Data as his translator. In a brilliant stroke of diplomacy and psychology, Riva instead insists that the leaders of the warring factions learn his sign language, thus establishing a common bond between the rivals right from the start. A brilliant move, but diplomacy be hard. Aw, a place for families. As humanity probes ever deeper into uncharted space, missions lasting 10 years or more are not uncommon. Previous experience with extended space missions, come on, Zach, reveal the vital impact of human companionship on a crew's mental and physical health. This necessitated the Starfleet policy of encouraging Starship crew members to take or form families aboard the outbound vessels. Although non-crew members are rarely seen in the duty areas, the USS Enterprise is in fact a thriving space-going community. That's one thing they didn't show you, mainly because it was a TV show and we didn't have time. The starship's huge interior provides a variety of living modules for singles and families, schools, and ample recreation and entertainment facilities. After all, the people of the 24th century believe that life should be lived, not postponed, no matter what part of the galaxy you call home. Sad that we may have to wait until the 24th century for that to happen. Penultimate card, take the drink. 11001001. If anybody reads binary, please let me know. The Binars are a species interdependent with computers, received the USS Enterprise at Starbase 74 to upgrade the ship's computer. But after forcing most of the crew to abandon ship with a false self-destruct alert and luring Captain Picard and Riker to the holodeck where they can't hear the warning, the Binars steal the starship. Jerks. When Picard and Riker realize what has happened, they activate a real self-destruct program to keep the vessel from falling into the Binars' hands. On the bridge, they learn that the computer which maintains life support on the Binars' planet is failing. Hijacking the starship for its computer power was a desperate bid for survival. Picard aborts the self-destruct program and uses the ship's computer to aid the Binars. See, you don't have to just take. Sometimes you can ask. And our final card, the Icarus Factor. That is a great shot right there. Riker must decide between accepting his own command of the starship Dreadnought, what a name, or remaining on the USS Enterprise. He is shocked to find that his estranged father Kyle, whom he hasn't seen in 15 years, has been sent to brief him. His father tries to reconcile with Riker, tries to reconcile, but Riker rejects the attempts. Meanwhile, Worf begins acting unreasonably hostile as the anniversary of his Age of Ascension, a Klingon ritual, approaches. Data, Geordi, and Wes surprise Worf by recreating the dramatic occasion on the holodeck. Riker and his father engage in a martial arts Anbo Jutsu, I think, match which ends in a draw and helps them resolve their personal conflict. Aww. Ultimately, Riker decides to stay with Captain Jean-Luc Picard, a man he greatly admires, and rightfully so. We should all admire Patrick Stewart. He's a good human being. I like these. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of memory jogging for Next Gen, which I have completely forgotten about, and some potential TTM fuel. I am 100% sending to Patrick Stewart because, like I say, his counterpart, Ian McKellen, is a very good signer. And now, as we prep for the second half of the show, we move to the shoutout. And this one, a little different. This one actually came as a suggestion from John Burgess. It's a channel he knows and is friends with, and one that is new to me. It's From Cheap to Chic. And yes, I actually do every now and then know how to pronounce some words correctly. At the time of filming, currently sitting at 1.99K. By Thursday, or by today, probably could be over the 2K mark. But John said she's a really good channel. I checked it out, and yes, tons of crafting stuff. And and here's the thing, like, I'm not good at, like, the crafting and the creating stuff, but I love watching it. It's like me watching people that are very good at drawing. It's something I'm unable to do, and I get a lot of joy out of seeing somebody very good at it. And that is exactly what you find there. Plus, she has a 1,700 subscriber giveaway going on. So, From Cheap to Chic, link down below. Let's make sure to get her up to 2,000 subs. Plus, it's something different, and it's something really cool, and it's something I'm probably going to, tell my sister about, because my sister loves doing crafts and stuff like that with my niece. And now, the hunt pack, and I rearranged everything, and now it's sort of easy to get to. We're going magic again, this time Bloomburrow. On the, let's see, I have a sheet for it. I do have a sheet for it. As luck would have it, ladies and folks, I do have my checklist. So I've got my Bloomburrow checklist. This is the set of the most adorable animals, tons of squirrels. Shout out Dan. So let's get in and see if we can't get some stuff off the list and just enjoy it. Yeah. Plus otters. Otter, frog, and rat. This is Season of Weaving. And I love the art cards. We have a foil of the Reptilian Recruiter. Do I need him? I do not. But he is a fancy-looking foil boy. Very, very, very beautiful alt art land. Or full art, not alt art. These are the full art lands. Here's our rare Tender Wild Guide, a possum druid. Do we have him on there, or did I pull him already? Tender Wild Guide, we do need. Possum gets a stand. Possum 100% gets a stand. Beautiful land, Lupin Flower Village. That is a stunning land. Long River Lurker, do we need him? We did. Why? Because he was a Frug. Hello, Frug. Frug goes on the stand. Rabid Gnaw. Okay. Rabid Gnaw. What are you gnawing? And what is it? Is that a giant? It is. It's like a giant rodent. High Stride. Love the bunny. Love the bunny. I don't think I put him on there. Did not. The Pond Prophet. That's a multicolor. I think I got him before, but he is a Frug advisor. Sazakap's Brew. There's a fish. That is beautiful. And I do pause because I'm looking at the checklist. Tempest Angler and Otter Wizard. I think I pulled him before because he's not on the list, and he is an otter, so I'm fairly sure I got him before. Gorgeous Land, Hidden Grotto, The Mind Spiral, Psychic Whirl. Don't know what you are, but it's a pretty looking card. And our final one, just the good old Intrepid Rabbit. Just look at him. It's a rabbit with a leaf as a hat. How could you not want that? That's it. But you know what? Two more for the off the checklist. Long River Lurker, and what was it? The Tender Wild Guide, I think it was. It was. Beautiful possum. Well, that fell, so possum is going to stay on the top. And that is going to do it for this kind of extended, rambling edition of Jank Pack Thursday. This was awesome. The Star Trek card's very cool. TTM Fuel definitely upcoming. Plus, I pulled a possum druid, and he's a rare. How can you get better than that? So thank you so much for joining me. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you to everybody in the chat, everybody watching on the rewind. Link to From Cheap to Chic down below. If she is at 2K, let's make sure she stays over 2K because, you know, the good old YouTube algorithm tax. And we continue to grow our community and continue to have fun together. So thank you for taking 20 minutes or so to hopefully have some fun with me. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate every single one of you. So until next time, thank you for joining me. We will see you later.